Oh, okay. Oh, you have one. Okay, gotcha.
Give it to him.
You want to light it?
No. I don't. No. If you have only one,
Yeah, light it up.
No, take the sage. You're
The
taking
guy-
the
yeah,
sage.
guess
We'll
let's
get more. We'll get more.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's an honor.
Light that bad
Take
boy
the
up.
sage. Here, also touch this rock. I'm not sure what the rock does, but
It's supposed to create cool vibes. Oh no, you light a match. and then you
Oh,
light it.
cry. I thought it was, you know.
I mean, I'm a rookie too, but
Bro.
it's hilarious.
no, the sage is a gift from us to you.
I appreciate that.
Don't burn your fingers. Also, I think you got to do like the way I was told, 45-degree angle.
I don't light it like this. I light it with a
There you go.
A lighter?
lighter. Yeah.
Yeah, I typically do too, but I have these nice.
We're old
lighters.
school here.
That's fine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow, vibes are gone, bro.
And we're opening up to new vibes here.
New vibes. Yeah, we gotta clear the vibes.
Old vibes gone.
Clear the vibes.
New vibes here.
What should
Yeah,
I like. So you're supposed to apparently do
Absolutely.
the corners.
yeah. So every guest has told us.
They usually too sage. You can like sage your body as well.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everyone, let's sage our bodies real quick.
No.
Yeah.
Staging.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
A little of that, a little of this. Get in there. Here you go, Mamadou. I like those pants.
Thank you, man. It's
Swag.
from Uniqlo.
Uniqlo?
Like this shirt is from a sweater from Uniqlo.
Nice.
Your whole look is.
Is it? Yeah.
I appreciate it.
First thing I noticed when you walked in, I was like, oh, well dressed.
I appreciate
You
that.
brought the vibes.
I try to, you know.
It's important. We don't. I try to throw out a different T-shirt every time. This is Bruce Lee, and he's playing. He's
Classic.
playing the ones and twos.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if he ever DJ'd, but
He dabbled in everything, man.
That was
I
it.
feel like Bruce Lee did everything.
Yes, sir. It's a one of a kind. One of one.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah,
you know,
for real.
and it's almost like there will never be another one.
Yeah,
Even
for
if someone's
real.
just as good to everything, there won't be him.
It's not.
They will
Yeah,
never
won't
be.
compare. Yeah, it's true.
All right, you guys ready to get started?
yeah.
You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
I gotta start with one of your songs, man. When you have someone who makes music on the show, you gotta start with one of their songs.
Yeah,
This
for
one,
sure.
I'm not shitting you. I really like.
If you came without a man, put your hands up.
Like,
If you came without a
I like how you bring in all like the eeny, meeny, miny, mo's and
Oh yeah.
like you bring in a lot of things from like childhood, like nursery rhymes and stuff, like things you hear as kids.
I would love to talk to you about.
Of course I'm
that
asking you.
song too.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
Absolutely.
That was
That's
my
what
first
you-
question. This song is called Childhood Memories.
Right.
I like it a lot.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's my first. This was the first single I ever released.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've probably listened to every song you had, and I saved a bunch of them.
That's love. I
But this one
appreciate
stood out to me the most.
it. I appreciate it. Yeah. Everybody got their own favorite.
Oh,
of
for
mine or
sure.
whatever, so
Of any artist.
I appreciate that.
I'll definitely like link to it.
Yes, sir.
But do you want to like tell us about this song and like what inspired you to write it, what it's about, and all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you do that, just let's introduction about yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Who
sir.
are you?
Absolutely. Well, my name is Mamadou, y'all. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm a 22-year-old poet, songwriter, filmmaker. From Harlem, New York. My family's originally from Bamako, Mali. Currently living in Brooklyn right now. And yeah, you know, poetry, I kind of told you guys before we got on here, was my kind of foundation into just storytelling. And it's kind of navigated now to where I'm using just the mirage of poetry, music, and film to tell my stories. You know?
Hell yeah.
So,
What
yeah.
did you find that you were passionate about first, and when did you decide that you were gonna go all in on it?
I guess yeah, it was definitely poetry. Was that kind of foundation? You know, I started. For real, I was really writing. Like when I was 11, 12 years old. You know, but it wasn't. I wasn't sharing it. You know, I was kind of just writing for my own kind of therapy and reflection and remedy. So I would write a lot. You know, kind of growing up. You know, I was just a youth in Harlem. You know, to two immigrant parents, and the experiences and duality that came with that. And I was introduced to that by one of my English teachers, my 7th grade English teacher. And from then, I realized like that was the needle in which I needed to use to navigate through the world. And I think over time, it evolved to different ways of expression, and kind of went from there.
That's like one thing I'm learning about like people who like are like successful in any craft is a lot of them learn at a very young age that that's what they want to do. Or like it's something that gets them started. So you're saying like in 7th grade, like were you writing poetry and did you have a teacher who was like, oh, this is good?
It's interesting because it was more like a reflection of what has been repeated in my life, and that's been more of a realization as of late, because I've been writing, but I wasn't prone on really sharing my work. I would like obviously in the assignments, he would like, oh, this was a really great writing assignment, but I wasn't like in 7th grade as a youngster like knowing like this is what I always wanted to do in my life. Mm-hmm. I think now and like over the past couple of years recently, I've realized like there's been this repetition of being a creative that's been constant and present throughout my life. So it's been a journey now, just fully embracing that and honing that in and just being like, okay, this has been with me for the rest of my life. I mean, with me for my life thus far. So I think that there's a reason why. So it's been an ongoing kind of realization of like, okay, this has been the thing that has always kept me peace throughout my life, and turning that for more of like something that was more inward and let it be more of a mutual exchange inward and let in the world.
When did you like finally start feeling comfortable letting people hear it and see it?
To be honest, bro, like a couple of years ago, I say when I started in high school, I started dabbling. Like I was in high school, I graduated in like 2017. So those couple of years of just starting to get more comfortable. And my teachers actually inspiring me to start submitting my work to publications and different programs, and starting to go to different fellowship programs in my time in high school. So like when I went to college, I went to Columbia in the city, and just like really then fine tuning and honing in on just my creative writing, started dabbling into more filmmaking and just all those different mediums. I think it's been a fairly recent kind of realization of like putting myself out there. So
you're 22, so like it's like you're young, you know what I mean? The point where like we didn't start this till I was like 27, maybe 26, maybe I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
But when did you kind of switch from poetry to making music and making movies, like videos?
Yeah, I say that too was like the ending of high school to college.
Yeah.
So these past like 4 or 5 years of like, not even, I'll say like 3 to 4 of more like serious, like kind of like, honing in on those elements of expression of kind of more music and filmmaking and stuff like that. So yeah.
So you've been doing it for like a little bit, but like you're still like, you've been doing it for a while. You have a ton, like to the point where you have a lot of experience, but you're still like new to the point where like,
right,
you're still going to just keep getting better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when guys are like a senior in college and they're really good at the NCAA tournament, they don't get drafted as high because they're like, all right, they may have tapped their potential, but you're like a like a one and done right now. You mean they're like, this guy's still got a ton of potential because you kind of just started doing it.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I was like on your TikTok and I was watching.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I saw your videos. I was like, yo, these are really well done. So I thought you were a filmmaker. Like I was telling you this before, but I'm just telling everyone else.
Yeah.
And then I started listening. I was like, oh, these are his songs in the background.
Right.
So it was a big thing, a big part of your like strategy, making these videos and putting them on TikTok with your songs in the background to get your songs realized, or are you kind of like, you know what, this is my video, I'm also going to put my music to it?
Yeah, it's kind of the both.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, I guess, especially with my kind of mindset with like TikTok, it's just I'm just expressing however I feel and just like putting out what feels right in that moment. So if like I want to promote something I'm working on as a song, like I'll put it out. I'm gonna put a lot of my poetry on my TikTok as well. So I'll be filming, or if I'm in the process of filming something, I'll take a lot of the B-roll or stuff that I'm using, or maybe I'm not using, and then kind of like, use some reflections. I'll probably produce music on the back of those instrumentals as well. I play instruments as well. So it's just, I don't know, on that platform, I kind of just speak my mind, or if there's a song I want to, kind of release, that I want to promote, then I'll kind of like figure out a creative means to just,
Do you
I'll
edit your
put that out.
videos too?
Edit my videos as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you literally do everything that I see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's wild because it's all really high quality.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man.
And back to that song we opened with, Childhood Memories. You said you wanted to kind of explain what that was about.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I worked on that song with two good friends of mine that I'm in college. And that was the first song I kind of ever released. Like, I released some, like, when I was in high school, some songs on SoundCloud that are not there anymore. Just kind of like dabbling in it. I was not good kind of making music at first. I was just a poet. But, nonetheless, when I was doing that song, it was in the midst of time. I just, I was in college. I was in Columbia, just grappling with a lot of different things at the time. And I feel like I really needed to lock in. It was a period of my life where I really needed to lock in and just reflect inward and just kind of, reflect the times that I was experiencing in my community and the childhood friends and everything like that. So the song, it might have a upbeat and kind of like, beautiful, I guess, kind of cadence to the melody and
playful
and
words
arrangement and the to play on that kind of childhood nostalgia, but there's a lot of duality and depth to that to my approach on that, because it's a lot of tragic and melancholy. Like I forgot the lines that I said, but I was like on the second verse I said I hope the project building something. Oh my God, I wrote that song was in 2019, but there's a lot of things that I alluded to in that song was just the feeling of not being able to escape this environment, the sunshine blocking my face, the project building, the sky, like how tall it is can block sunshine from even being entered into this community. I don't want to go outside. The chorus, I don't want to go outside no more. Still hear police knocking at my front door, alluding to things in my past and things in my community. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that I like that song a lot, but the more you seep into and read the story, the lyrics, it's a lot of melancholy.
I feel like those are like some of the best songs. Like you hear like, oh, do you know what the song is actually about? Because like it's like a very upbeat song, and then but it has like a really deep meaning to it. Yeah. And then you always kind of hear that stuff.
Yeah, man. I feel like a lot of the stuff that you do has very, very, very deep concepts.
Thank you.
That are written about
Appreciate
it.
that.
No, man. I mean, it's tough because you hear a lot of the mainstream music today, and it's just so numbing. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I like, admittedly, doesn't even have like lyrics to it. I just beat my head against the wall. And it's refreshing to sit down and to watch somebody come up with music and speak what they're feeling, because it forces the person who's watching it to put themselves into your shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than just being a passive listener.
Right. Yeah.
You're I don't know. I mean, I found out about you because of what you were doing and putting out.
Thank you so much.
I found out about you. I found out about your religion. I found out about.
Thank you so much.
Who you are. And that's important. And it's oftentimes it's overlooked today. And the new artists that are coming out, the younger artists that are coming out, we were talking about XXXTentacion, I think a bit before we got on the podcast. He's one of those guys, or was one of those guys that put a lot of time and effort into explaining who he was,
right,
and what this world means to him. And I love what you said it earlier about being that you use this art as a way to pinpoint and navigate your way through expressing yourself into the world.
Right. And
people don't do that enough.
Right.
So
have you had to deal with I don't know how far along you are, like where in the process you are, because I don't really know much about like the music industry.
Yes.
But where are you at currently in terms of your career, your career, like who you dealing with? Are you just solo and you're just putting stuff out there on the internet, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, I'm independent at the moment. I have a team, that helps me management, and it's kind of like a pretty small team of us. I've been in a conversation, but it's been tricky just trying to make sure that the places and the spaces that I'm allowing my work to maneuver with, understand my faith as a Muslim, understand my desire to be creatively in control and just like being able to work with the people I want to work with and things like that. So independent, but navigating, definitely conversations. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
Where do you find the best place for you to think and write music down? Like where do you go to do that? I know the city's a busy place. Do you ever escape and get out? Like where do you go as someone who lives in the city, has been raised in the city,
Right.
to go and think?
It's a trip. I mean, I love going to the library.
Cool.
I love going to the library. I love reading books, so like I'm in there a lot. And surprisingly, actually, my room is like not bad. At least like I can set my own environment in my room, to make it feel, even with the, since I've been growing up here my whole life, like I can fall asleep to the street sound. I mean the street sounds and everything like that. So yeah, I say my room is a place where I can really journal and reflect and meditate, pray. Library. Yeah, I think as long as I have my journal, I realize like that's really where my home is. So it's I'm like a nomad with that, with my notebook, and
How often do you find yourself journaling?
every day I try to. Yeah, that's been the thing I've been doing since like high school. My English teacher from high school, he like put that into me, like discipline, just like showing up, stream of consciousness, no inhibition, detaching yourself from this has to be a creation, this has to be a masterpiece. Simply just showing up every morning when you wake up, writing down a page of just whatever.
Wow.
And you can use that material for whatever, or you cannot use it. But at least you showed up.
You're detaching from it being a creation.
Absolutely.
I think that's a good way to put it, because like I feel like everyone has always heard like you got to journal. Like journaling is so good for whether it's like creative purposes or like people are dealing with anxiety and all that stuff. It's like the journal has always been like something I've heard like a lot of successful people say they do.
Right.
And I think it's kind of, I've always been like, I want to, but I don't know what the fuck to write.
Yeah.
But I think you saying that, like, it doesn't, you got to detach from the idea of like, this needs to become something.
Yeah.
Just write it down, because you never know what you're going to get.
You'll never know. You can literally write about the fact that you don't have anything to think about.
Yeah.
Like explore the nothingness, because there's something in that. Like, why do you feel like you have nothing to say?
That's true.
What is the mundane details of your day to day that make you feel like you have nothing? What is monotonous? You know what I mean? Like just and it goes like that stream of consciousness. It continues to build off that. So, but it's the showing up for yourself. It's showing up. So I try to journal every day.
You're giving yourself the chance for like, because like look, like we're creative people as well.
Absolutely.
Like thoughts. You're just driving and like you're thinking of a million things, but out of nowhere you're like, oh fuck, I just had a thought that I need to write down.
Right. Yeah.
So like while you're journaling, you don't know what's gonna come.
Exactly. You don't.
I have shitty handwriting, so that definitely deters me from doing journaling.
Notes is valid too. Like notes, Google.
That's what I use.
Google Docs. Yeah.
I feel like writing would cement it a little more in me.
There is a connection.
Pen to the paper type thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
How often do you spend like making content, or do you have a full-time job, or is this your full-time job?
Well, God willing, hopefully. I am currently working at the moment. Just kind of navigating through it all, teaching as well. So it's definitely a maneuver, but God willing, I would love to just one day have this be.
Oh yeah, it is, and that's our goal as well for like this and
absolutely. I see you guys, man. Y'all doing it. That's what it is.
It looks fancy, but like we're still like when I'm going to bed, I'm still like they're still so fucking far.
And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful mindset though too, because you're content, but you're still striving too.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a process, and I think that we talk about manifesting a lot on this show.
Absolutely,
I randomly bring it up all the time.
It's come up a ton.
That's real.
It's big these days.
I got some thoughts on that too.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that.
But we just kept saying to each other, like, we're gonna just keep doing this, and like I was saying before, it started in our apartment in the Upper East Side on a cell phone, and then it was like, yo, we need to do more, and then Steve was like, okay, well, here's a bunch of lights, and here's a camera, and here's a mixing board. So we're doing more, and then we got this like sick space to do this.
Yeah,
just like things just kind of kept happening. Yeah. We kept it at the front of our mind, but
absolutely
not about us.
No, well, it's about all of us, right?
Yeah,
it's about all of humanity tapping into I was listening to Lauryn Hill. I don't know if you guys.
Of course, she's from New Jersey. That's where we're from.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. She's a folk genius, a storyteller. But she said I've been listening to a lot of her MTV Unplugged, and she said something about the lines of like all of us praising God is fully living out your passion and putting your heart into that. That's the epitome of like praising God. You know, so I mean, it's collectively all of us. You know, with you guys of just nurturing that seed and nurturing. Look where you guys have done. That's you guys praising God. That's praising your existence. You know what I mean?
Using the gifts He gave you and making them stronger.
Making it exactly
100%.
It's true. There's something very, very, very spiritual about that.
Absolutely.
And you often find yourself in, at least I find myself in a world where there's so much that isn't spiritual. You commit so much of your time to things that aren't spiritual.
That's real.
For real.
You know, think to yourself, why? Why do you do this? Why do you go through these? Why do you go through these motions every day, and you watch people who just kind of fade out, you know, and never actually do anything with those gifts.
Yeah.
And it's a waste of God's gifts and talents to not at least try and create something for yourself.
And to keep going. Because like we've gotten, and just like you were saying, like you had some songs you put out on SoundCloud that aren't there anymore, but that was just like, that was you starting.
Right.
And like that gift turned into like the songs on Spotify with like hundreds of thousands of plays.
Yeah, true.
And like now I mean, not that this podcast is anything fancy, but like, you know, little by, you know, you're doing random shit.
Yeah.
And like with us, like we were first recording on a cell phone, and then we had like a random first episode where like it was pretty like, I enjoyed it, but it was like scrambled.
Yeah.
And then like you would like reach little milestones. You're like, I got a little bit better. You level up.
That's true.
You level, and like
that's such a good point.
Like I like sometimes I'll go back. I'll like be in bed and I'll kind of look back at like my TikTok feed or some shit, and I'm just like, it doesn't feel like I've done a lot, but if you look back, it's like there's been a lot of time put into this.
A lot.
And like I'm sure you could feel the same way. Like you have so many different videos.
Yes, sir.
Sick videos. Like,
thank you, brother.
What kind of camera do you use?
Sony A6600. I need to get the A7S3.
Let's get him that A7 III.
Let's manifest that.
Let's manifest it.
Inshallah. I've been trying to, but that price, you know what I'm saying? That's
it's coming.
Thing.
It's coming.
I appreciate that. I need that camera so badly, but I usually have the A6000. I mean,
it looks good, man.
I appreciate that. I feel like any Alpha, like Sony Alpha, like that series.
Yeah.
I just love the specs on that. Cameras.
Like these are like the Ace. These are like $100 cameras.
Yeah.
There's camcorders. It's good for podcasting because they can record for a long time.
Absolutely. Yep. That's one of the things.
We used to have like DSLRs, and it would stop every 15 minutes.
Which was a Canon?
I had a Canon T5.
It was Canon T5. We had 3 of them.
They probably stopped like what, like hour? Like
yeah.
It was like $500 maybe. I bought it on eBay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my brother had one. He had one, so we all just like combined.
Got you.
They take great pictures and they take really good quality videos, and it was something that I got when I graduated college as a gift.
Yeah.
To explore my gifts.
Absolutely.
That it's just I never actually did, and now we're here.
You kind of did just enough where we continued to do shit.
I did do just enough. Like I got Photoshop, I got the Lightroom, I explored different things. There's a lot of projects that I have that I really want to do.
Yes, sir.
That I need to do.
Yes, let's manifest them.
So I gotta I'll bring the camera back out.
Yeah,
yeah.
It helped us get started. So, like, what were your? You said you had some thoughts on manifestation.
Yes, sir.
And let's hear them.
Oh man,
I always want to learn.
I mean, I think there is such a even when going back on the power of just writing stuff down. I think there is a power to just writing it down, praying on it. You know, so I think for me as a Muslim, like making salat on it. So writing it down, praying on it, and then just like going about the day, detaching yourself from it almost. So like for example, I'll just break it down like what I've been doing over the past year. I have like a manifestation journal, and I don't write down like I wish, or I don't try to use those terms of me not having it. I write it like I will feel happy when I get this. So it's like aligning myself with the feelings and the emotions of like what it will feel like when I have this thing that I need to manifest. So aligning myself with the happiness and the peace of achieving those goals, and then kind of like leaving that for the day. I don't read my manifestation every day. I just go to the next day, pray on it.
So you sync it up with like, you get yourself to the point where you're like, you almost like trick your brain into thinking like, I'm the level of happy right now that I would be if I had what I'm manifesting.
Exactly. Like I will be so, like, for example, I would say I will be so elated when blank, or I will be in deep gratitude when blank. Like, so like by using that vernacular of like, I will be, and then just like the emotion that is tied into what would feel like to when you achieve your goal, then it's just like, you already are it.
Your vibration.
Like, you already are it. So it's destined. It's just divine timing at that point.
And I hear a lot about the detachment, because like on TikTok there's so much manifestation stuff.
That's
and
true.
like they're always saying like the number one rule of manifestation is like you got to detach from it. And it's like, it's not like you like ignore the fact that you want it. It's more just like you don't sit around hoping for it to happen.
Because it's kind of like if you are, it's like if you plant a seed and then you're constantly digging it up, like waiting for the tree to grow. It's not
looking at it, see how big it got.
It's going to keep being a seed because you messing it up. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a lot of detachment is just because I think for a lot of us we search for the validation because we're running toward where we feel like we have to run towards it. You know what I'm saying? And I think with detachment, it's knowing that you already are it. Your existence is that goal. Your existence is that. It's just a matter of when the divine timing is, versus like feeling like you have to chase. Because if it's running away from you, then you got to chase it. You know, so it's like you got to check your phone. You have to make sure this is that. That's the pressure. You know, so it's a matter of, you know, letting that seed. You know, I'm gonna water it a little bit. I'm gonna water it tomorrow. I'm not gonna water it and then just
check on it.
It's gonna be a seed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the best analogy I've heard for it yet.
Yeah, I would agree.
I kind of have not understood it, and now I'm kind of like, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Or it's like you're in class, you're like hoping class ends. If you just look at the clock, it's not going to end.
Seconds.
Exactly.
You got 5 minutes left, but you still look at the clock. You really got like how many seconds? 60 times 5, like 300 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes more than
But if you focus on something else, like before you know it, that bell's going to ring.
And the bell rings, you know. So it's like
because then the seconds that you're focusing on becomes work. Because then you're just focusing on the next,
you know,
second.
Five, what we could go further. It turns to milliseconds now because now you're so fixated instead of being immersed in that present. You know.
Yeah, because no plant's just gonna grow overnight.
No way.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing happens overnight.
Huh.
Yeah.
What did you ever have like a moment when you're like, oh damn, like I think I could really do this. Like I could like make my, like you were saying before, you want to make this your full-time job.
Yeah, God willing.
Did you have like a moment that you're like, almost like, damn, like I'm gonna do this?
I don't know, man. I think I don't know. I think maybe it started when I was in high school, just in terms of like, I think, you know what? There was one moment, now that I'm looking back in hindsight, I was at a program. Oh man, it just was like one of the most fearful things. I was so afraid to just like, it was called Bread Loaf. It was like it was a writing program in Middlebury College. I'm like remembering this now. I low key want to write about this one because like they picked, we had like separated groups, and then they picked a writer from each group to read to the fellowship program. And then they picked my poem out of the group. And it was so many people. I was like, yo, I wasn't, at that time, I was like, what, sophomore or junior in high school. I was not sharing my work. Like, even in class, I wouldn't be reading my poems out. And they picked me. And I remember being so scared, heart beating. But I was just like, okay, I have no choice. I literally have to do this. And I remember like reading the poem and just like everybody like, oh, can I take a picture of that poem? Like, I want to get that poem. And I remember like that's probably like looking back, like one of those first moments of me like being vulnerable and like and realizing that people could connect with any ounce of a word or something that I could do. So in hindsight, like that moment was like one of those early kind of moments of like, maybe if I try to find ways to spill myself. In any way I package it, that maybe somebody could feel it.
Yeah.
So looking back, that's probably a moment. Yeah.
Definitely some like validation and like, because like when you're just writing stuff, you're not sharing it. You could be like, have a day where like, I think this is really good. But like until other people hear it and say it, you're not going to be like, that's like a next level of like, oh, there is something to this.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it is important though to have an internal barometer of how much you appreciate your work. You still have to make sure you have that. I think with me, I was okay with just for a while of just like, okay, this fulfills me for the moment. That's kind of like guided me through my early stages. And I think it's important for every person to have that, like, because you don't want to be creating for, you want to make sure that exchange is still prioritizing yourself at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is, in anybody's journey, I think, if you feel the urge to share, because it's like collectively we're all as humans experiencing and different throughout the spectrum, but in the themes we all can empathize with it in some way, even if it's not all the way. I think it is important to have that internal barometer, but I think when you feel like you're internally ready to share, or sometimes, I don't know, it's an ongoing idea that I have, but I do think it's important to have that internal barometer and then also, share when
100%.
It's like that balance.
You can't stop yourself from sharing all the time because you want it to be too perfect, but you also don't want, like, some people just put out garbage all the time and they're just like happy with it. They don't really think about it and they don't really care. But like, then there's other people who are like, no, this is good, but like you don't share it. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. You kind of do got to find like the right mix of it.
Yeah. It's a sweet spot for sure.
Self-awareness for sure.
Self-awareness.
That's a big self-awareness is like the number one thing I think. If God was like, Steve, I'm sending you back to Earth, one skill, I'd be like, self-awareness has got to be one of the most important ones.
Absolutely.
Yo, so this is like a random question, but
yes, sir.
I noticed Karuchi follows you on Instagram. How'd that happen?
I don't know.
She's got like 12 million followers. She's pretty big.
That's hilarious. I actually don't know.
Do you know who that is?
Karuchi, yes, I'm aware.
Did you follow her back?
I follow Karuchi, yes.
Who followed who first?
I actually think she followed me first.
That's pretty crazy, bro. I follow her.
Can I get knuckles? Can I get knuckles for that? I'm gonna.
If she's my high Karuchi, I've never messaged her or anything. I actually don't know how she's.
Because you're a good guy.
Yeah, I'm not focused on all of that right now. You know what I mean? I'm just focused on.
That's smart.
But yes, that's hilarious that you would even notice that.
Well, I follow her, so like it popped up as like, someone else followed you. Samba Films follows you.
That's my guy. Yeah, I got to link up with him. He's in New York.
He also makes good videos.
He's an amazing filmmaker.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
I could see you guys working together for sure. Yeah, so I know he follows you and she follows you.
Yes.
I was like, damn, did that like kind of? What was it like when you saw like Karuchi followed you? Were you like, is this a fake account or like what was it like? So you never met her? She just saw your stuff and was like, I like this.
Maybe, yeah.
That's kind of legit, bro.
It sounds like you didn't even know she followed him.
To be honest, this is a bigger conversation too, but my relationship with social media is kind of like love and hate, so it's like to answer your question, I would say it was cool. But it's like what does a follow do for my real end goal?
Well, it could, if she could share something and then it could get you
to
level up a little bit. But
that is true. That is true.
But yeah, it's not like I made it now.
Yeah.
But to some people, it'd be like, yo, Karuchi followed me. That's like, but I agree. It's exactly. That's not like, you haven't reached your end goal with that yet.
Right. So that's funny. Yeah, that's a trip. but yeah, I mean, social media is, I feel like I would love to talk to y'all about this, but I feel like social media is a beautiful thing.
What do you hate about it?
What do I hate about it? I hate the fact that for this younger generation, a lot of people measure their worth on it. And that's what I hate about it, because I feel like I worry about this younger generation and the generations following us. Just because like these platforms have scientifically measured every parts of just like our emotional state and know how to trigger and maneuver it on the 24/7 scale. Like you wake up and that's the first thing you grab. You don't even say hi to your moms. Like you call you. Some people may pick up the phone to call their mom, but that nonetheless you're picking up the phone, like and just like maneuvering through it. And I just fear, myself included. I've been just trying to like really been as I continue to progress in my journey, just to be mindful of how I'm maneuvering with these apps and this digital world that we're kind of like really immersed in now. So yeah, that's why I'll say how it affects the youth.
You think we'll ever get rid of it? You think we'll get to a point, or you think we're gonna have to learn to live with it?
No way,
man. I don't think so. I think it's here to stay. It's just I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna evolve. I feel like it's gonna continue to push because people are, even with the pandemic gone, like people still love these apps. Like what I'm saying. I mean, well, pandemic's not gone. Sorry about that, but with like a lot of restrictions, being taken away, and like people can, I guess, interact a little bit more than before. There's still this huge love of the internet and these these devices. So I don't think it's gonna go. Yeah.
You think it's love, or do you think it's addiction?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think it's both. Yeah. I think it's a spectrum because there's some beautiful things of this digital era too. So it's like
like this.
Being able to just connect with y'all. It was through these apps. So there is a beautiful element of it and a component of it, but at the same time, like I think it is at some point addiction. True.
For sure.
Told, yeah.
Even like we're all very aware of like it's impossible to not know that like the bad things on social media. It's like part of the daily conversation of like social media is this. Everyone's addicted, but we're all still looking.
Right.
And if you delete it, it's like I guess not participating on it, sure, but then you're missing out on some of the good stuff.
Right.
And if you're a creator, you basically have to have it.
Right.
You can't not.
Right.
Do you ever like get upset if a video doesn't get a certain amount of likes, or you kind of just pass that?
When I was like early on in my creative journey, like I kind of like found myself weirdly doing that, like being like, oh, this didn't, or like trying to measure up how successful it is. But I think now in the phase that I find myself in, like you can't do that because now you're stepping on your own toe. Like if you continue to try to ascend, and then now you're monitoring every step that you take. You might ascend 1% today. One day you might ascend 1,000%. One day you might, but if you stop completely because of one day was just 1%, then like now you just messed up everything that you had just get to that point. Just because instead of going from here to here, you went from here to, or maybe you went, and then it's like. So now it's just I don't even look. Sometimes I just schedule like a lot. Like what helps me now was been more kind of productive is just scheduling times in the day. I got my daily journal. Like if between these hours I'm on these platforms promoting whatever, connecting with folks, responding, then I'm out rest of the day.
That's the healthiest way you can do it.
That's how I maneuver it because it's definitely useful, and you do need to. I guess kind of connect with folks and be intentional, but that's how you find that balance. So that's why I'll be doing. Oh, I have a. You guys should get this app, Freedom. It's a really.
I used to have one.
Free. You guys used to have it.
I don't know if it was that app, but I would basically block out social media for certain times of the day.
Beautiful.
It helped me too. I brought it back. Fuck. It was like earlier this year I had it.
Yeah, Freedom.
Earlier 2021.
Freedom is amazing. So it's like you can now literally schedule like. Now I have a block of like, okay, I have these hours of like, okay, I'm on it, and then when it's not those hours, it just shuts it off. So
yeah, no, it's definitely smart. And then like some apps I would notice, I'm like, I can still kind of get on. So then, but like it definitely did help.
Yeah, because think like like, cause I was doing that time limit for a time on the iPhone, but it's just like that. But they know your psychology because you can still do 5 minutes, 10 minutes more. 20 minutes more.
It's so fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? You see how crazy it's a loop. Yeah. It's a loop. It's a cycle. Yeah. They catch you. They're like, okay, 5 minutes more, 10 minutes more. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
man.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's crazy. Y'all watch Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
So y'all know. Yeah. But
they want us to be addicted.
Oh God, of course. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yep.
No, now that we're having this conversation, I am 1,000% addicted to my phone right now.
Oh, for sure.
with this current news cycle, and then with like COVID and everything. Oh man,
I think it
really
period.
pulled you in.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, I'm having a meltdown right now on the show.
No,
It's all good.
deep breath, bro. Light the
we
sage
human
up.
with it, yeah.
Go light a candle downstairs. No, because like especially with like this the war and stuff, it's like some of it's like, oh, I actually need to check on this information, so it's a little different. But like, yeah, man, it is tough.
That's a trip. Yeah,
I find myself I used to like time my screen time, and there'd be if there's days I was like hanging out with friends or like active and stuff, barely on my fucking phone. There's days when I'm bored and I'm not doing anything, on my phone all the time.
yeah.
So like, I think boredom is one of the biggest things to addiction too. Like there's like biological reasons and stuff and environments, but like if you're active, I feel like it's a good way to not do the things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your mind is focused on something like when you're creating, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
For sure.
It's just so invasive though, because I feel like you said, when you wake up, you're on the phone. So why? Why the hell did I just do that? Like, go get a cup of coffee.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Because you think it's important. Because
make your bed. Make your bed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, get your coffee, get your tea.
Yeah.
Go ahead, pray, get your meditation on. Right.
Right.
Make some. Start writing. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so much things that you could do. At least to, I think how you start your day too. You know, like that sets the tone for the rest of the day too. So
For sure.
Have you always been religious, or like when did you start praying? Like when did that become a practice in your life?
absolutely. Yeah. So I grew up Muslim. Both my family, my parents are, from Mali, from West Africa. So they just kind of had the faith, and we learned how to read the Quran and recite in Arabic and, things like that. So, growing up, yeah, for sure.
Growing up, and then I guess, do you feel that you're praying as part of your meditation as well? Like,
For sure.
I guess, like, what's a good? I need to pray. I don't pray a lot, and I'm Catholic.
Absolutely.
So, when you think of a Catholic person praying, it's literally like a kid who's kneeling at their bed and a crucifix over their bed, and they're asking God to forgive them, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's not prayer, but
I mean,
it's
each his own. I don't
right.
know.
But that's how it's just. I find that the Muslim prayer is much more methodical, and it's much more deliberate, and it's more objectively, right? As I don't know much about it, but if it looks like it's more of a conversation with God, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, it's done at a certain time of the day.
Times of the day, yeah, you got the 5 times, yeah.
Yeah, where you, it's almost a time for reflection, right? Sun up,
Absolutely.
sun down, right? So you begin and you end the day with prayer.
Yeah, yes,
Which is cool.
yes, absolutely.
So do you find that you're meditating often in prayer, or?
It's a different, because I actually meditate too. So it's
Right.
like, it's a different kind of approach, because you are reciting, it's a beautiful way that you put it, that conversation to God, the kneeling, the going up and down, the reciting, Surah Al-Fatiha, and then another surah in the Quran, and just really, kind of making your rak'ahs. The rak'ahs are like how many times you go up and down. You go up and down like a couple different times depending on the 5 prayers. Go up 2 times, 4 times, 4 times, 3 times, 4 times, 2 times, 4 times, 4 times, 3 times, 4 times. Yeah, just make sure. But yeah, it's different. Rak'ahs for how many times, for the different times of the day. So yes, it's a meditation, but it's a different form of meditation, because you're focused on the words and that conversation with God. So it's different. Yeah, because when I'm meditating, like, just like that letting go, just like, peace. I'm not speaking any words. I'm just kind of like, I'm watching my thoughts. you
Yeah.
know? So
That's how you meditate. You think you watch your thoughts?
I watch my thoughts, yeah, because you can't, at least for me, I can't escape my thoughts, So instead of, but I think the reason why, I think sometimes people have a hard time meditating, because they find a thought and then they judge it, and then they internalize it, and then it messes up the whole flow of it. So I just I watch it, and then I watch it pass. Like, I just let it go. And if another thought, I watch it and I let it go. I don't judge it. I don't become that thought. You know what I'm saying? I just watch it. Okay, next. And if nothing comes out of that, and now I'm at real peace, then alhamdulillah, then
Yeah.
But yeah, But yeah, my meditation and like my prayers are different. You know.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I heard like an analogy with meditating is like it's basically how you said it. It's like considering you're on the side of the road and cars are coming by, like those are your thoughts. It's like that car, just let it come and go. Because like honestly, it's like the thoughts that you like the least that you're gonna get like fixated on. And then if you think about it, it's like I have a million thoughts that I don't give a crap about.
Yeah.
But like, why does this one stick with me?
I mean, just kind of alluded to what we kind of all like been talking about too, like manifestation and all these kind of things, like putting all of your, I guess, attention and like, you know, this desperation almost into this one thing instead of just like fully being immersed in just the present moment. I think that's what strips a lot of us, myself included, from just, you know, receiving those blessings, you know, and we instead block ourselves because we're so fixated right here when there's a whole world right here, you know. So it's about perspective. You know? Yeah.
I heard a theory on why manifestation works from like a kind of like a scientific point of view. And it's that you're taking this idea that like you really want something you really want, and you're putting it in your subconscious, and then your subconscious will slowly start making like minor decisions, like micro decisions that kind of get you closer to that goal. So without you even really knowing, like, you know, for us, we've been thinking about like, we want to make videos, we want to do a podcast like our whole life. We've taken tiny baby steps in that direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like those kind of start to grow. And then like, you know, you reach success in one moment. Like I had some guy from TikTok on, it was like my biggest podcast ever. So I was like, now I got to go start looking for people on TikTok. So then like my attention kind of shifted to like, every TikTok I see, if I see there's views, I'm like, where does this person live? If they live in New York, I'm hitting them up. So it's kind of like your subconscious. If you really want something, your mind is going to kind of guide you there without you even knowing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, I'm trying to think of like an example. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, just like your goals and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, all about alignment. That's what it comes down to. Just like
aligning yourself with that goal.
Aligning yourself with the goal. It's a physical feeling. It's a spiritual feeling. It's an emotional feeling. It's just aligning yourself because you know you are it. So it's just a matter of just walking into it. You know what I mean? And you slowly, by increments and increments. Yeah,
and then you slowly gain momentum. I feel like in terms of getting to a goal, momentum is literally the number one thing. Like,
very true.
Like for us, at least, it's like when we had a little bit of success, it definitely ramps up our brains to like more.
Yeah, for sure. And you get better with each time you do it.
Absolutely.
And you meet cooler people with each time you do it, honestly. I mean,
absolutely.
You're you have a lot of depth.
You guys are going to meet cooler people after me.
No.
Will Smith next week.
No. You know what? I told Steve I'm quitting after this.
Yeah. He's like, we reached the peak.
Yeah, this is it.
It is cool. That's one of the cooler things now is like we're meeting people. Before it used to be like my friends who like I thought were like funny.
Yeah.
And then it's slowly, I'm like, now I really only want to do it if it's someone who I don't know that's like interesting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to just be like, we had a party and people are like, when am I going to come on? Because a year ago, I'm like, I'll have anyone on because I need people to do it. But now it's like, there's kind of got to be a purpose behind it. Like there's got to be someone with a story to tell. Like I can't just be like, I mean, we can goof around, but if it's just me and you, that's fine. Yeah. But like, there's so much time goes into it that there needs to be a reason to do it.
Absolutely.
We should have a party after we reach our like 50th guest.
Yes. So
we
yes,
have like a party
50 parties with every guest.
With all the guests.
I've thought about that.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Friends of the podcast.
Wow.
Have you guys ever thought of like probably pairing or like bringing people back like eventually with
sure
of like and then making it like a more like if you feel like okay this conversation aligned with this conversation.
Oh, for sure.
Really cool,
and I think that'll definitely start to happen.
Yeah. Dope.
Then we gotta make merch too. We gotta make
merch.
I mean, you've been doing your creative journey longer than we have, I think. Because I mean, I guess we kind of started at the same time, but I feel like, I looked at, would you say, dating back to like, you said that song came out in 2019. That was your first single.
First single, yeah.
But then you had songs on SoundCloud from like when? Like
2017.
Damn, so like 5 years. It's maybe 5 years ago we started recording on the iPhone.
We started putting bricks down. We started laying the foundation.
Yeah. Little things here and there, little conversations.
Yeah. I mean, but to be honest, it was for you guys probably just like always been in your life. You know what I'm saying? You guys probably even
it definitely was
the gift that you got.
Yeah.
when you graduated
Right.
college. You know what I'm saying? Those little things, like those were those seeds be in place already.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it's probably longer than what y'all think. You know?
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh no, for sure. Like you did the play in high school. I did one
You know
play in
what I'm
high
saying?
school.
Yeah.
In college, one time he was like, "We're making a show." He's like, "I want you to be in it," because you must have known that I like creative shit.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, "All right, we're going to the woods." And then like he's like, we were just like talking to the camera. It was like we got nothing out of it,
Right. Nothing.
but it did spark like, no, now we're people who do creative stuff
I
together.
love that.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of what it was.
How long y'all know each other?
Oh my God, a long time.
2015, we met in Spanish class.
Wow.
Yeah.
God bless, man.
Yeah, I would cheat off him because I thought he spoke Spanish. Because he would the first day of class, I get in there, he's like, "Hola, papá." He's like, in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, this kid's speaking Spanish."
Oh God. Yeah.
Turns out he was faking it, and I'm like cheating off him, and then like the teacher's like,
That's not
Francis, Steven. Like, I'm like, we got to find someone else to cheat off of. And then we met Rebecca.
That's hilarious, but you cheated off the wrong way.
Yeah, you're like one of the only people I've met like not through a group of people.
That's hilarious.
I've always been very good at the fake it till you make it type thing.
Right.
I just never made it.
No, we got A's eventually though. But Rebecca, thank you.
Man, go ahead, man. Oh my
But that is
God.
true. Like we just
hilarious.
started making content that made no sense. We would like
sir.
just start filming and like, oh, this camera quality looks good.
Right.
But it really kind of just did give birth to the idea of like, okay, if I want to do something creative, you're like the first guy I'm going to call, vice versa.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, man, yeah. You never know how shit's going to start.
You
So
never know, but it's within all of us because the those messages and those thoughts, those symbols are just stained in our just existence. You know, since we were young to, you can't run away from your destiny. That's one thing
For sure.
So it's just
when I was a
matter of
little
embracing.
kid, I always thought I could I always wanted to do this shit, but I don't know why. I was like, but I can't. I'm just a normal kid. I was like, I'm going to have like a normal job. I'm going to go work for a bank one day, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I kind of do have a normal job, but I never really believed that I could do anything different. And then one day it kind of just clicked in my head. I was like, in order for me to really, really, really like my life, like love it, I have to do this shit.
Yeah.
I have to put my fucking
Yeah.
head out there. And it took forever. It was before college I thought that. And we slowly got there.
I'll never remember any of the math classes that I took in grade school going way back. I will always remember Mrs. Carpenter video editing and film class in second grade.
Yes.
Second grade,
We had our Mac. The Mac computers just came out. The ones
color on the back.
the ones with the colors in the back, and we opened up the first iteration of iMovie.
Yes.
And I remember we were filming stuff because they wanted to do this new thing at school called the school news program. And I signed up. I was like, I want to be the weatherman. And I was the weatherman. And we started making, on cameras like these, we started making videos of the weather.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's great.
And we would
School
sit down.
program.
And that's where I learned how to edit. That's where I learned the first. And I always loved it. And I don't know why I never thought about pursuing it. Probably because, I come from a very traditional home, and my parents wanted me to get a job.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Same here.
I feel it. Same here, man.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But then you realize that I've had a career now for almost 10 years, and I've gotten good at that career, and I'm realizing now that what makes you good at a regular 9-to-5 job is also going to make you good at this.
Oh, facts.
'Cause
Discipline.
It's the same. It's discipline. It's organization. It's being able to talk to people, to exchange ideas, to put ideas into actionable things.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. This is just different because you can have an audience with you, and for us, there's an audience there.
Right.
So it's almost like instant feedback. It's like you don't get that at your job. No one tells you you're doing shitty at your job. No one's going to tell you that because no one wants to talk like that. No one wants to
Right.
have that conversation. But if people aren't watching your stuff, or people aren't giving you feedback on your music or podcast or whatever, then it's not good immediately. So you have to, and if you like it, you got to tweak it.
For sure.
So that's why it becomes a profession, because you're making it one.
Right.
Do you ever do you ever have people who kind of give negative feedback to you? Have you ever had to deal with that?
Yeah. I mean, DMs sometimes are wild. I think sometimes a lesson I've learned is just you can listen to everybody's perspective, but don't internalize something unless you ask for advice. Like if somebody's just like, oh, I think like cool, I appreciate you, thank you for listening, but don't internalize it because you don't have to like.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Like put it in your pocket. Like you could just observe it and just like say your piece
Yeah.
and then keep it pushing. I think that gives you peace as well because I think the more, and God willing, I see this for your podcast as it continues to expand and people share their thoughts on, they think, oh, you should do this differently and this differently. If you didn't ask it if it's helpful for you, good. But if it's like, don't internalize everything because now you've opened yourself out where everybody feels like they could have an opinion.
100%,
So it's
right.
like you have to understand, like, you can't control that. You can't control the fact that like people are might not like it, or they might tell you that, oh, I think you should do this, or let's collab, or da 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 da, or I think da da da, whatever. It's about finding the piece of like, okay, if I didn't ask for it, like I can just look at it, say appreciate you, keep it pushing,
Right.
and that's how you keep your peace. So
100%.
that's kind of like how I navigate it now. But yeah, it's a ongoing learning.
It'll never stop.
Yeah.
It'll never
Oh
stop.
no,
And
it'll probably get worse.
Well, I think you'll only realize how to, it'll start to get overwhelming. And I'm talking about my job relationally to this.
Yes, sir.
But you'll realize that you'll just need to filter it out. There's always haters,
Oh yeah.
and there's always constructive criticism, and you need to be able to stay in your path, stay in your lane, and block out the haters, and just take the little bits of information and build your own path.
Yeah,
That's how you gotta do it.
100%.
That's how I've.
Because like,
Absolutely.
yeah, because your stuff's not always gonna be perfect. So like, there are gonna be some valid things from the outside. But I agree. If you're not asking for it, then you can't. You take it with a grain of salt. Take what you want out of that.
Right, exactly.
Like,
pick and choose
yeah,
what you want
exactly.
from it because some of it might be actually helpful for you, but
Also, go fuck yourself for telling me what to do. Like, it's like
Also, go fuck yourself.
yeah, it's like I'm aware. I'm like, so we're in a group chat.
Right.
One friend one time was like, Steve, I think you should do a little more of this, and I kind of just like responded in a way where I was like, look, man, this is a growing process. I'm aware of everything. Like I know this isn't perfect. I'm not sitting here saying like this is amazing, but at the same time, like, let me figure this out.
right.
And like, it kind of like bothered me that he said it. It didn't make me, however, there was some truth to what this person said. I was like, I need to organize this a little bit better. Like, I guess it was one podcast. I guess it could have been a little all over the place. Some people liked it,
Yeah.
but like you called me after it and you're like, yeah, like take ideas out of it. But at the same time, like, don't listen to someone who doesn't really know. If they don't have experience doing what you're doing, then they don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's so true. There's a phrase that like I wrote a couple weeks ago, and I've been just trying to really hone in on based on a conversation I had with a mentor. And you have to preserve your soul. You have to preserve your art, your business, whatever. Like it's your bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Because people can come in the bedroom and just
Oh,
like,
wow, I
yo,
love
like
that.
this is dirty, da da da. But then they leave. You have to just stay in
That's true.
you in this room. Now you're looking at this. Yo, is it really dirty? You know what I'm saying? And then now instead of just like, okay, but I love this. This is from this is something that I've treasured for years. I love this thing on the wall. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I think having that mindset is critical because once you can preserve your space, like it's your bedroom, then you got to nurture it regardless of who comes in for the party and then leaves, the next day. You gotta stay.
That's great advice.
It's true.
Good for that guy.
Don't forget the way you feel about something just because someone else gives their thoughts and it's negative or not the way you think about something.
Absolutely.
For sure. Which is tough to do.
I found the best advice in my life has always been like a bedroom motif. Why?
Because your space.
There's Admiral Byrd, not Admiral Byrd. That's a conspiracy. There's this Navy SEAL who went on. It was a big speech giving at like one of these typical like college graduation things, and his message was, make your bed every morning.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was great. I don't want to get into detail because it was, it's just something you hear at the end of a college, like you're graduating. But it's interesting that the bedroom is such a sacred place for so many people, and I love that.
It's real. That's such a good quote, man. I mean, as simple as it is, make your bed. Like, your bedroom is a reflection of you.
Yeah,
like, quite literally.
Yeah,
if it's organized and it's clean and you took care of it.
Yeah,
because you're trying to nurture yourself. You got some things you got to do in the day. It's a reflection, like how we take care of ourselves is a reflection of internally how we're feeling.
For sure.
There's been times where sometimes my room is not always put together, and that's periods of time when I might be depressed or there's some things I'm going through. I'm just like, forget everything. But showing up for yourself, actually cleaning your room, making sure your room is tidied up, things like that. It's just reflections of what's going on inside or what's going on in the brain. So
it really is.
It's interesting how those like inner things. I mean, that's real, right? Something from inside of us manifests itself into outside. How we just
almost always,
almost
always
do.
Yeah,
it's yeah.
I think another with the making the bed thing is like, in terms of like your brain, if you start your day on like the right foot and you're like, I'm getting things done, it's almost like checking shit off of a to-do list. Like it gives you momentum throughout the day to like, I'm going to do the next thing that I'm supposed to do.
Right.
It kind of like, because when you wake up, your day is going to be set by like what you first do. If you're checking your phone and like you see something negative, that's getting your day on a negative start. You could fix it, but it is. If you start your day like, I'm going to make my bed, make sure everything's clean around me. You leave your room and you're like, what's the next productive thing I can do?
And
that's the best way to live, honestly.
I watched a video. Somebody was talking about that. I forgot what it was, but yes, like
it's probably the same one. It could have been. I don't know. Because I've seen that one.
Yeah, but it's just like that's such a good point.
Yeah. It's it could have been like on TikTok. There's like these like mental health guy, Andrew Huberman. He said some stuff like that too.
It was on YouTube. I watched it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I forgot what it was, but it's something alluded to like how you start your day, like setting up your room, then like taking a shower, and then like just like he was breaking it down like the different scenarios. Like some people may just like the first thing they do, they leave their room and just use the bathroom or take a shower. Some people, the first thing they do, they set up their bed. Like he was breaking it down and like what that show is about. Are you a procrastinator? Are you things like that. I forgot the exact video, but
are you like in control? Are you because you make your bed, you're intentionally doing something. You're like, I'm cleaning my room.
Right.
And you're not just letting like your emotions or whatever like push you through your day and do your actions.
Right.
Because if I'm not like intentional about what I'm doing, like doing the right things, because I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm big on being organized, working out, getting my work done. If I start off the day acting like lazily or like just doing stuff, then on my next meal I might just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat the burger instead of something healthy. Like
cook something for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like you're not making intentional decisions, and then you're not at that point. You're not even really. Your actions aren't even you. It's just it's just whatever's pushing you in that direction. Yeah. That's why you gotta be on top of your shit.
Whoa.
You never felt that?
No, I just I had a feeling we were gonna have these conversations. I needed this conversation tonight.
That's good.
Likewise, man. It's mutual.
Maybe you came at the right time because you remember the conversation in the kitchen before this.
This is nice. So I was leaving work today. I hadn't eaten all day.
Yes, sir.
I was hungry, and I've been really good about getting to the gym recently, and I've been really good about taking care of the things that like making my bed and all that. Like,
yes, sir.
Consistently for months and months and months and months and months, and I had this moment today where I was like, fuck, I need to eat food, and banana bread came into my mind.
It looked good,
and I was like, I gotta eat that banana bread. And I put it on a plate, and I got ready to eat that banana bread.
Yes, sir. And
instead of eating that banana bread, I put it back in the fridge, and I said, you know what? I'll save this for Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, word. So you didn't think you would...
I'm going to have a turkey wrap right now.
Okay.
It's not that different, bro. If calorically. You didn't really make that. That's a lateral decision there.
I'm going to have a muff. I'm going to have a muff.
I'm going to have a Cobb salad. I'm going to have a blueberry bread. Oh, great choice. No, it's definitely true.
No, man, but I was like on the verge of like breaking down. I was like, but if I eat this banana bread, then like I'm gonna be a shit show for the next fucking 48 hours.
And like practicing over your life, or like in our adulthood, has gotten you to the point where you're like, no. Before I just make this rash decision and eat this unhealthy thing, I'm gonna think And I do that a lot too. I'll just be like, what am I fucking doing? Like, there's a Burger King right there. The other night, I almost just fucking got a burger. I was even Googling, like, is the chicken sandwich buffalo, the spicy one? I even got as far as Googling it. Once it said no, I was like, nah, I'm just going to go home. I'll eat tomorrow. But like, you know, as an 18-year-old, I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just eating whatever.
Yeah,
like,
give me 6 of those.
That's a fact.
Now, now I'll stop before I do stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm realizing. You know, I'm young still, but with age, like, that's one thing of like understanding how everything affects you more with age. Like, just like quite literally everything.
For
sure.
You know what I'm saying? That like
you have more control over it, but at the same time, like the stakes are higher.
Stakes are high. Like literally everything. Like, I filed taxes. This is my first year kind of just doing it by myself.
Nice. Welcome to the
tax club.
I don't know if I want to be here though. You know what I'm saying?
No, none of us want to be here. What are you, nuts?
Yeah, I hate TurboTax.
I don't even know if I want to be welcome, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like, it's like, nah, like,
good.
Give us your money.
It's fine.
Yeah,
like, you know, it's just like everything, man. It's just it's a trip, you know. Just kind of like, you know, I just graduated last year from college, so just like I'm realizing with age, everything is different with age, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, honestly, man, the first year out of college, I mean, it's probably different for you. You're like, you kind of know exactly what you're doing. Like, first year out of college is so weird. Like, you're kind of mixing, like, still hanging out with some college people, still doing, like, some things. It's like, you don't really, at least I didn't really know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
Yeah,
I flew to Thailand. I didn't fucking know. I had no
That's
idea.
true.
a blessing, though.
You got dengue fever.
Yeah.
No, I was just agreeing. I mean, to some points, you know, I do feel that kind of the questioning for sure. You know, just like my day to day, you know, me really wanting to do this, but having to do this job or like, you know, these things. So like, to be honest, I've had the tension for the past year. So I'm still going through it, still just trying to figure out how to continue to be present fully with what my heart really desires. It's not easy. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you're off
really
to a great start, man. Like, you're 22, you're putting out music, you're putting out high quality videos. I'm like,
thank you so much, man.
I saw your videos a few times before I reached out and was like, I wanted to do my podcast.
That's
and when you
man.
said you were coming on, I was like, we were at my party, and I started like showing people. I was like, yo, he's fucking coming on. Like, I was hyped,
man. I mean, I love people who reach out and like want me to just talk and just to do that. Like, I love that because like at the end of the day, like, we all human, man. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that like I really want to, you know, over time really, really do is just connect with anybody. If it feels like, you know, it's dead, like they want to talk about something real, you know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know. I don't want to let arbitrary metrics make me gatekeep, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's something I want to over time just continue to do, just connect with people.
So like, wow, what do you think's like next for you? What are you working on? Like, what's your next big thing?
God willing, you know, I'm working on a lot of things. You know, I've been working a lot on just this next kind of like body of work, and representing that through film, through I mean, basically kind of a lot of like what I've been doing, you know, putting all those elements together to tell stories. But I've been working on just like a body of work that, God willing, the next, you know, couple of months. I don't have a time date on it. Just in that process. But that's one thing. Working on a lot of things I can't speak on as well. I'm excited of those, you know, kind of projects and partnerships when time comes with those things. And just trying to grow better, just trying to be a better human, just trying to evolve and just be a better filmmaker, a better poet, a better songwriter, and spread love ultimately. Because at the end of the day, we here for a temporary time. So I think that's just how I'm just trying to navigate my future. You know, so yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
Is there anything, I just want to ask you this question, but I'm going to put music to it real quick. It's kind of something I do. Is there anything that you're like currently manifesting?
Currently manifesting.
That you kind of have just having the pipeline?
Ooh, let me see. What's been, you know, I wrote my manifestations today. I guess something I'm manifesting. This is essentially a time capsule, this podcast too, which is a beautiful thing.
True.
Oh, we're gonna hold you.
Oh yeah, you could like 10 years from now, you'd be like, wow, look.
I'll be calling you and be like, yo, what's up?
God willing. Yes, sir.
You realize you manifested this on my podcast.
Spot check.
I think right now, I think ideally I would just, you know, want to be financially stable and helping the people around me just through my art. I want to be able to do that to as many people that need it. So if it's all the people in the U.S., if it's internationally, whatever, however God, size it up for me. I just want to hit that to its core and be able to help myself, my community, my family, my loved ones, and let that be how I live my life. Travel the world and, educate and pay it forward to the youth. Create programs for the youth, to storytell, to be multi-dimensional through music, through poetry, through film making, and just be at peace. Be a good Muslim, and that's it.
So like let your art provide you with enough money so that you can set out to do what you want to do.
Yes, sir. Exactly. For me to be stable through it, and just for me to still be intentional, to not compromise my integrity through it all.
I like the way you're looking at it. You're not like, I want this car, I want this amount, I want this thing. You just like, I want the ability to do this through this, and however you want to make this happen.
Right.
That's how it's gonna happen. That's a good way to look at it.
That's fulfilling, because you can get the car, but then what else? You always these.
Or how you gonna get the car?
And how you going? Because it's like all these things that if you set it out in terms of purpose, in terms of things outside of yourself that can leave on, then it allows you the room for God to breathe that into you. Versus like just a finite thing. Okay, I just want this or this. Like you can get it. But then what's after that? And I think it's there's space for those type of manifestations. But I think bigger, what is your life kind of, what do you want? What do you really want life to be like, for yourself and for the people around you? I think that's like really how you allow yourself to flourish and just be, exist.
Hell yeah. I think that's honestly like the route I'm going to take in manifesting.
Yes, sir.
Just here's what I want to do. Like you said, you want to go out and spread your word and all this, and you want enough money so you can do that properly. Exactly. That's kind of how I feel. I don't want necessarily a certain number. I just want the ability to freely do what I want.
Because there's people who are successful in the whole spectrum. There's people who are, you may not think this amount of number, but they're amazing. They got sync deals, they got brands, they got all these different things. They're impacting the youth. They're whatever. There's a lot of people with millions and millions of people, and they're doing their thing too. So it's all a spectrum. But I think it's just aligning with what God has designed for you and what is actually good for your makeup as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Your success can't be somebody else's success, because you're going to get that, and then that's not for you. You're going to, that's going to be your demise, So aligning for what is for you and being that all the way. Yeah.
You got any words?
I like that theme. I think it's a great theme. I think you have to surmise it a little bit. Thrive. Don't survive.
Yeah. Thrive, do not survive.
Yeah.
You can take that one too if you want.
Yes, sir.
I'm playing.
You guys give us. You guys gave me a lot. Learn.
He's a poet. You didn't even know.
You got me.
Absolutely.
You got
all of us are poets.
You got me going tonight, man. I needed that. I needed that light box to turn back on.
Love, bro. Thank you. Likewise, man. I appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah. You guys want to wrap it up? Is there a song of yours you want me to play as an outro?
Play something beautiful like Tread Slowly, my latest one. I love
Tread Slowly?
Yes.
All right.
It's beautiful.
You say Mamadou? How do you pronounce it?
Mamadou.
Mamadou. All right. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Pleasure, man.
That's
Appreciate
a blast.
you, man. I got to say, you got to be one of the most interesting people we've had on, and also at the same time, extremely humble.
Oh, for sure.
So much,
you got a great head on your shoulders, and
thank you so much.
I wish you the most success, my friend.
Inshallah,
Same here, man.
Thank you so much.
Very genuine guy, man.
Thank you guys, man.
All right.
Pleasure. Been a
That's
pleasure.
Mamadou. This is Tread Slowly. Check him out on Spotify, everywhere. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Karuchi's probably following. I'm impressed. That's kind of impressive. I like that it's not a big deal to you, because if Karuchi followed me, I'd meet people and be like, yo, you guys know Karuchi follows me, right? I had to get it out of you, bro. She's top notch.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. This is Tread Slowly.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all, bro.
No doubt.
This is fucking.
Yeah, so far. Love, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
I'll definitely let this ride on the end, too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, this one I just released as a short film as well. So,
This is the one where you're in the truck in the video. It's in the background.
exactly.
That's when I started to notice. It's like, oh, these songs have the same. These videos have the same song in the background.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I was like, this is his music. And that was after I scheduled you to come on. So I was like even more hyped.
That's love.
I was like, this guy makes good videos. You got a good eye, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Like,
Thank you.
It's like visually pleasing to watch the videos.
That's love.
like,
that means more than you know.
Looks
man.
very authentic.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Filmmaking is like, I low key love filmmaking more than the music. Like,
Yeah.
Right now, cause like, it's the adhesive to like all of these elements of expression. It puts it all together in a way.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does bring it together.
This, you know, Bon Iver,
I love Bon Iver. Yeah.
dude.
Chill.
I know. I'm not saying you're, but is he an inspiration for your music? Do you think?
I mean, Bon Iver is awesome. My good homie, he put me on to Bon Iver, but I love Sanford.
Yeah.
A lot of Sanford, a lot of I don't know. I listen to a lot of like growing up. I listen to a lot of R&B and stuff and soul, but I listen to a lot of like rock, like Outfield, Dire Straits.
Yeah.
Those just kind of like melodic groups, you know, just trying to like emulate these worlds. And Bon Iver is a beautiful, just like atmospheric kind of producer in how he produced. So that's love.
Yeah. I got from that. I was like, oh
Wow,
shit.
that's crazy.
I hear Bon Iver in there.
No, it's
That's crazy.
very legit shit, man. I'm like, it made me very like proud to be able to have you on, like someone of your caliber on. That's a step up for me, and I'm very honored you came on, man.
Man, that's love, bro. Thank
Appreciate
you so much, man.
I appreciate you too, my man.
Fine. whatever.
Always
You know
there.
what?
Nah.
I'm sick of this.
I gotta give Mamadou the props first.
I'm over this. I quit.
Yeah, I'm wishing you guys continued success, man.
Thanks,
This
brother.
is,
That means a lot. That means more than you know.
Yeah,
It legit
man,
does.
Man, keep going, man. Keep being intentional and genuine. That's the best.
Will you come to our party?
I mean, it depends on what the atmosphere is. If it's casual, no crazy, I'll find stuff.
We'll cater it.
It's gonna be a naked yoga party.
No, it's not.
No alcohol. No alcohol.
There won't be any yoga there.
No alcohol.
Yeah, if it's no alcohol, I'll probably be there. Inshallah. Yeah,
Word.
Yeah, man, we gotta keep in touch, man.
Yes, sir.
This is good
Absolutely,
shit.
man. Absolutely, yes, sir.
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Love, man. Love.
One love.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Peace and love, man. Peace and love, yo.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, thank you guys so much. So much fun.
It's cool, isn't it?